Welcome to the show. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. Can anyone name the band? Rumble. I'm live in Rumble. YouTube. Anyone know this band? Or not? That's right. One of the songs on this album, my friend Tim Williams from Vision of Disorder sings a jam. Or did this guy sing on a song called Bumbleclot? I used to have the exact t-shirt from this album. I'm going to show it to you. This is exactly what was on the t-shirt. Rumble notification. Let's see what it is. It's me! And it's shut off. Bumbleclot. Yeah, I didn't know I get my own alerts. Alright. Let's end that. I'm getting many texts. Yep, I knew I was right, and I didn't ask that question. Anyway, my nose is stuffy, so I'm going to take the Pee Wee Herman route. I used this today when I saw the newspaper, and it was called the New York Times. Not the International either. The shitty one. Like, either one's good. I'm going to go for a few minutes on YouTube, and then I'm going to go straight to Rumble. I seem to be getting all of my views on Rumble. At least 100 more than I get on here, which is a lot for this channel. So, going to have to dedicate more time to that. Although it does seem, I don't know. Let's do some strange history, because it is the dark stream. I decided to call this the dark stream because it's dark in here. Gino's behind me, by the way. Oh, that doesn't help dark stream. Dark stream should be dark, right? But I still gotta be able to read. Tickled to death. Roman empanada. The Roman empanada. Okay. Roman Emperor Claudius I died in AD 54. A couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? I think my grandma was around. Yeah. Anyway, most historians claim that his wife, Julia Agrippina, Agrippina, tried to murder her husband by feeding him poisoned mushrooms, which just happened recently. If you look into the true crime community on YouTube, you'll find a story of the mushroom lady right now. According to historians, that's not what did him in. Afterward, Claudius's doctor attempted to induce vomiting by tickling his throat with a feather. This is a fucking doc, huh? The feather got stuck in the emperor's throat and he choked to death. So he was putting the feather. How can you choke to death on a fucking feather? That's the real question here. You can't just choke to death on a feather because, well, yeah, I guess if it, I don't know. I don't really know. But the predecessor to the trombone, which is, a brass instrument, was called the sackbut. Sackbut. Thank God the trombone was invented. AOE. The first rock star in 1842, women fought over Hungarian composer Frank Liszt's handkerchiefs as souvenirs because he would wipe his sweat and throw it in the audience. And then Abraham Lincoln came along and shot him in the head in the same theater. In 2004, the first robot conductor led the Tokyo Philharmonic. The orchestra played Beethoven's Fifth. Wow. Sea shanties such as Drunken Sailor were the only songs allowed by the Royal Navy in the 1800s. There's a channel called the Townsends, Townsends, and they do 1800s like cooking stuff. Like they dress, they have like the whole. They must have a place where people go visit and stuff because they have that whole like almost like when you're a kid and you go visit some place that pretends they're in the 1700s or whatever. Well, this is like 1800s, and they cook all the food that people would have made in that time with the same ingredients. And also they the one big episode I watched was when they were talking about boats. People, the people who lived on ships in the 1700s and 1800s, and what they ate and how they made it. And stuff was pretty interesting. I don't know why I even mentioned that. So during the Middle Ages, murdering a traveling musician. Now, let me tell you again. During the Middle Ages, murdering, right, a traveling musician. Think of Bob Dylan in your head as the guy, okay? And then think of The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Think of him as another guy. So you got Bob Dylan. He's a traveling musician in the Middle Ages, and he travels into the Hollywood. The Rock can kill him. It was not a serious crime. The Rock could kill him and walk away like OJ did. Yeah, I guess I know that. Once I thought about how a feather can, but then I thought I was like, how can it block the airway though? A feather, but it is what it is. What's this? The castrati? What's the castrati? Oh, oh, this is dark. Stacey, is this when you clicked on this? Is it called the dark stream? Is that what it says? Because this is dark. This is why it's the dark stream. This story right here. I'm gonna mute myself for 1 second, and I'm gonna wait. Did I do that? No, I didn't. Alright, so let's put a little artwork up. And back to... Be right back. All right. The castrati. Tried to clear. Yeah, I tried to clear my nasal passage so I could read. Ever heard of the castrati? They were boys who were castrated in an effort to fill the Catholic Church's need for singing talent. The practice appeared in Europe as early as the 1500s, but historians estimate that between I have a funny joke about historians. Estimate that between 1720 and 1730, the height of the craze, 4,000 boys between the ages of 9 and 12 who showed even vague musical promise were castrated each year. By that time, the practice was limited almost entirely to Italy, but its seeds had been planted earlier when the church, having banned women from singing in the choirs, religious officials thought women's voices were too seductive, turned to young boys whose sweet tones were preferable to the shrill soprano falsettists. Okay, that's a lot of musical terms. Castration prevented puberty. And now all they got to do is take a pill. All they got to do is walk in to one of these nut job doctors and be like, I want to be a boy or a girl. And they'll give them pills and then they castrate. That's what they give them. They're giving little kids the medicine that they give to serial sex offenders, registered sex offenders that are serial offenders. They castrate them with the same medications they're giving kids. You agree with that, anyone? Fuckers? Castration prevented puberty, and without the male hormone testosterone, the castrato's vocal cords remained small and immature throughout his lifetime, which kept his voice high. See, now this book was done before any of this garbage bullshit, so that those words right there mean something. I hope if you know, you know. And because his bone joints didn't harden due to not going through puberty, he also grew unusually tall and developed a large chest cavity, which gave him extra lung capacity. See, that's another. It's just crazy. I can't. With rigorous training, the combined effect was tremendous vocal flexibility, a high range, pure tone, and extraordinary endurance. The very best could hold a note for up to a minute without taking a breath. So they castrated boys just so they could sing in the choir for like a couple of people. That's weird. Let me check my Rumble. Oh. Y'all niggas on Rumble, where are you? Oh, hold on a second. I'm not playing background music. Okay. Let me go check out Rumble. Is it called the Dark Stream? It says live, Pierre Delecto II. Oh, I can hear myself. I look good on Rumble. It's very clear. Rumble is very, very clear. I'm looking at the video. I paused it. There's two. Oh, I have two people watching on Rumble right now. Hello, Rumble people. Welcome. Nice. I've never even looked to see the Rumble chat. How you doing? So I got YouTube and Rumble going right now. All right. If you guys don't follow on Rumble, please give me a follow. I get banned by YouTube once a month. I have to make a new account. I'm trying to keep things going here on Rumble, where they won't ban me. So, I could use as many followers on Rumble as possible. So for you guys watching right now, I appreciate it. And thanks for being here. I'm going to go into another story, strange history story. And, damn what. Botched history. Oh yeah, I did. That was Barack Obama. But I'll say it again. This is what Barack Obama said. This fucking douche monk. We're the country that built the Intercontinental Railroad. I can't do. I don't know why I did that voice. I can't do an Obama condescending dickhead voice. I can't do that. President Barack Obama talking about the Transcontinental Railroad, but he said the Intercontinental Railroad. He's like, what is he, Mr. fucking Perfect? Tatanka, like the Intercontinental Champion? No. I wonder why it doesn't say the dark stream on Rumble. Hey, Rumble people. If you're watching, does it say, is this stream called the dark stream on Rumble? Because I did name it the dark stream. But I see from what I'm looking at, it says live, and it just says Pierre Delecto II, Pierre Delecto Jr., which is, Mitt Romney's pseudonym on Twitter, or it was Pierre Delecto. And I'm also my new name on Twitter. I have a new political account on Twitter, and it is Joe Biden's pseudonym, Robert L. Peters Sr. on Twitter. You can find me there. I'm taking all their pseudonyms and I'm taking all the names on all the accounts. On all the accounts, I'm taking every name. I'm taking all the pseudonyms. So if they want to come back and use them for something funny, pay me bit. No, I'm just kidding. If someone really wanted the name or something, I would definitely give it to them. Anyway, let's read outdated concepts. Humorism. Humorism dates back to 400 BC and persisted well into the 1800s, when advances in medical research led to a more accurate understanding of human physical and mental health, which we don't have that. We have a problem with that these days, especially mental health and physical, because the mental health is leading people to do physical things to themselves that are, irreversible. The concept went like this. A person's health and personality is determined by the proportions of 4 basic substances: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. I read this recently. In the body. When the 4 humors were in balance, the person was healthy. When they were out of balance, the person was sick. Diet and physical activity of various kinds affected the balance and could make it better or worse. Treatments such as bloodletting, which is, cutting yourself, letting blood out, which actually works for some things, inducing vomiting and purging the bowels were administered to sick people to restore proper balance of the humors. Bloodletting could work in some situations. They used to think that if you were sick and you just cut yourself and let blood come out of you, that you would let some of the sickness go with your blood. That's not how it really works, but that's how it started. So, the Fiji mermaid. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Fiji mermaid, my friends, but my nose is getting stuffy again, yeah. But, yeah. Thanks for watching on Rumble, guys. I actually like the way this live chat is set up on Rumble. It's pretty cool. All right. Anyway, so what I do, if you guys don't know, for the people I don't know you guys, nice to see you. I read this book called Strange History. I read, they're like 1, maybe 1.5, sometimes 2-page stories that are true, funny, odd, strange historic facts. And one of my favorite things is like smart people when they talk about history. So I'm going to read a couple of these quotes, and I put them up on Twitter earlier, some of these, because they're really good. So John F. Kennedy starts with like the shittiest one. History is a relentless master. It has no present, only the past rushing into the future. To try to hold fast is to be swept aside. That's John F. Kennedy. All right. Blah, blah, blah. That one's not like something you can memorize and remember. These other ones are good, though. Norman Cousins said, history is a vast early warning system. That one is epic to me. There's a couple of them. Will Rogers, and also Thomas Jefferson has one. I'll read to you. Will Rogers said, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. Now, that's kind of a joke, but if you get it, you get it. History does repeat itself. Samuel Butler, God cannot alter the past, though historians can. I think that is the funniest little fucking jab at historians that lie in the school textbooks. Lied to me about I don't know, I forgot, Columbus and shit like that. All in school. That's what happened here. Historians write those stupid books. We live in a world where amnesia is the most wished for state. When did history become a bad word? John Guare. Don't know who John Guare is, but I like his statement there. History is the sum total of things that could have been avoided. Konrad Adenauer. Don't know who he is? Great. Oscar Wilde. History is merely gossip. Whew. Oscar Wilde getting a little steamy. So, history, this is M.N. Pokrovsky. I would say somewhere in, maybe Russian, Czech, Ukrainian. All the cards I use for bookmarks are falling out of the book. He says, history is politics projected into the past. And here's the Thomas Jefferson one that I've known for many years. And finally, I found it in this book, and I think it's great. A morsel of genuine history is a thing so rare as to be always valuable. And let me read that to you again. Anyone who, I read it fast. It's, not in modern English. So, a morsel of genuine history, so just a little bit of truth, is so rare that it's very valuable. So that's what he's saying. A morsel of genuine history is a thing so rare as to be always valuable. I love that one. Jim Butcher. Time after time, history demonstrates that when people don't want to believe something, they have enormous skills of ignoring it altogether. Political prisoner, Mr. President, Mr. Donald J. Trump. People just seem to want to believe the lies of the news, the mainstream media. And now they got this guy in a mugshot, and a real one, not the one on my shirt. It doesn't mean anything. Charges and indictments mean nothing until you're convicted. There's no conviction. Zero. And there will never be, because there's nothing. All there is soaring polls and winning. 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 If you can't spell, I'm here to help you. Don't worry about it. Mason Cooley said, radical historians now tell the story of Thanksgiving from the point of view of the fucking turkey. I love that. That is a good one, too. That's funny. Yeah. Hey, Rumble people, can you do me a favor and I don't know how to use this. Doc chat. Enable slow chat. I want to see, can you add moderators on Rumble? I don't know. I'll figure it out later. The obscurest epic is today. Robert Louis Stevenson. Okay. Yes. I fought in your general direction. Everyone knows that farts are funny. We've had this discussion before. Even people clap for it. So, let's read this story. In 568 BC, King Apries of Egypt sends a trusted general named Amasis to put down a mutiny among his troops. A mutiny, I tell you. But when Amasis got there, the troops offered to make him their leader instead, and he accepted. He must be the fart master. King Apries, whatever, couldn't believe it. He sent a respected advisor named Paterbemis to bring Amasis back. Amasis, they should just change names to like Joe and Mary. Like, really. Amasis responded to the king's entreaties by raising himself from his saddle and farting. So he was on a horse and he did a little cheek bust and went, hey! He did one of those bitches. So when let me get back to that and farting. Then he told Pater Bemis or whatever his name is to carry that back to the Apres. So he gave Apres henchman a fart and said, bring that to him. Like this, like it says, I fart in your general direction. The king was so enraged by the message that he had Pater Bemis's nose and ears hacked off. So the guy got farted at, then lost his nose and his ears. At least he lost his nose, because if he goes back out there and gets another fart, he's good. But he'll never know the message. Well, the message was the fart, but he wouldn't be able to hear a fart. So how would you know? Maybe someone's just moving their butt cheek. They might not be farting if you're without ears. I guess you can still hear if your ears are cut off, because you still have the ear canal. Shut me up before I go, girl. Okay. So he got his ears hacked off, his nose hacked off. Committing such a barbarous act against such a respectable man was the last straw for many Egyptians. Thank God. They turned pro-Amasis. With their support, Amasis' troops attacked and defeated Apres' army. I got mixed up on who's in this story. Shit. Amasis became King Amos, and reigned for 44 years from 569 to 525 BC, which modern historians call one of Egypt's most prosperous periods. And the richest man in the world ever was some dude in the Middle Ages. I'm how can you tell who's the richest man from today and in the Middle Ages? They didn't even have running water when this guy was the richest man of ever. You know what I'm saying? How rich really was he? When he was wiping his ass with his hands. You got me on that one, guys. What do I got? 28, up to 30 minutes. Botched history. Okay, Vice President Dan Quayle said this magical thing about the Holocaust. I don't know what it says yet, but I'm about to read it. The Holocaust was an obscene period in our nation. All right, first of all, I fucked up, but it's even funnier because about what I just read is. Did you hear what I just said? He's about to say in our nation's history. No way. The Holocaust was an obscene period in our nation's history. I mean, in this century's history. But I didn't live in this century. What? What the fuck is this dude talking about? He deserves a twinkle. Shit, he even deserves one of these. Damn. There's 9 people. Alright, so how does it work here on Rumble? There's 9 watching. The comments disappear as they go? As they go up? Alright, let me test this because I've never looked. If there's 9 people watching on Rumble right now, can 1 or 2 of you comment real quick? Because I'm confused. Just, yeah, if you heard that, just if you're on Rumble, just throw a comment just so I can see, because I want to know if they're lying to me about who's watching. Because if I got 9 people watching, I'm gonna keep reading and doing some funny stories here. If I got 9 people here and my YouTube thing, which is where. Okay. Yeah. I would prefer I would prefer you use YouTube though. I need the time on there, the watch time for YouTube. I really, I shouldn't be saying this now, but YouTube is still the main platform right now. And yeah, I'm losing people. Okay. So anyway, Fight of the Gladiators. In AD 69, the Roman Emperor Vespasian ordered the building of the Flavian Amphitheater. All right, so they want to build the Flavian Amphitheater, right? Today it's known as the Colosseum. And it allowed Vespasian to keep the more than 1 million Roman citizens under control by quenching their thirst for blood in a way that didn't threaten the empire. Festivities began at dawn and often lasted well into the night. Second-rate events were scheduled during mealtimes, however, so that the spectators could return home for lunch without missing much. This is weird. They do weird shit, gladiator shit. The feeding of Christians to the lions. The feeding of Christians to the lions. Remember that part? It's just reading that is weird. Is believed by many historians who are liars to have been one of the mealtime events. So while you're eating, you can watch Christians get eaten by lions. Yay! On the morning of the games, the gladiators rode by chariot. I'm sure you've seen this in movies and shit. I never watched these movies. Like, I guess, what is 300 about something like this? I don't know. I never saw it. But the gladiators rode by chariot from their barracks to the amphitheater and marched into the arena up to the emperor's box, where they saluted the emperor. The day often began with bloodless duels that mimicked the more violent events to come. Women, or sometimes dwarves or cripples, battled one another using wooden swords that were made to look like metal, which I doubt anyone thought they were metal, you know. After the event ended, an attendant would blow a war trumpet to announce the beginning of the main event. So after that event ended, most often a battle between gladiators. They usually fought. Yeah, this is more than one page. This one. They usually fought to the death. Just imagine sitting. Imagine having a seat in the second row. You know what I mean? Of a fight in the medieval times, or whatever you want to call it, whatever Roman times, whatever this is. Forgot. Just imagine sitting there, you wouldn't be a peasant if you're sitting there, but just sitting there and watching people fight to the death and kill each other and also get eaten by lions and shit. And you're like right there, like you're watching it. I also wonder how back in the day, I'm pretty sure like aliens were like helping them and shit, because how are they moving animals from different continents and shit, like lions, and how did they get the lions out of Africa into Afghanistan, all that area, where they were in Italy, there's no lions in Italy. Well, maybe there are mountain lions, about it. Anyway, so they fought to the death. Although the loser gets lucky sometimes. Okay. Although the loser had a chance of escaping with his life, but not his dignity intact. When it became clear to a gladiator that he was going to be defeated, he could cast away his shield and raise a finger on his left hand. This was the gesture used to throw oneself upon the mercy of the emperor. The emperor would then ask the crowd to help him decide the gladiator's fate. So when the gladiator put his finger up on his left hand, that meant, I want to stop fighting. Emperor now is going to say whether I live or die. Okay? Because he lost he's lost the fight. They're supposed to kill him. So let me get back to this. Okay. The emperor would then ask the crowd to help him decide the gladiator's fate. They would shout, Mite! Let him go free. Which meant let him go free. Or Mite! Mite! Eat the meat, the shalong meat, and give the emperor a thumbs up, or Lagula, pay the penalty. Lagula, he's done. Send him away. To lie and eat him. And give him a thumbs down. The emperor would then give either a thumbs down or a thumbs up, because both probably people were screaming both to the emperor. Hey, Pagula and Lagula. No, not Pagula. Meat, 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 and Lagula. Meat and Lagula. Meat and Lagula. Meat Lagula. Meat Lagula. All right, the emperor's got to think. All right, meat or Lagula. Usually they pick Lagula. To be honest with you. I didn't even finish it. The emperor would then give either thumbs up or thumbs down, and his orders would then be carried out. Right. That was a good one. I like that story. I might have seen that before, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Thanks for all you people on Rumble who were watching live. I didn't expect like more than 2 people at a time. All right, turn away when spitting. If you cannot, well, let me start this way. In 1530, a philosopher named Erasmus of Rotterdam wrote a book of manners called On Civility in Children. I don't like the words. The words, like when you use these words together, I don't like it. In and children. It just reminds me of like.
I want to say one thing to your children. I know some really great ice cream places around here. And Daddy owes you. Okay? So talk to me afterwards.
Sick bastard. Sick bastard. All right, so in 1530, a philosopher, blah, 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 civility to children. It was so popular, it became a bestseller. Here are some excerpts. If you cannot swallow a piece of food, turn around discreetly and throw it somewhere. So if for some reason you cannot swallow the food that you have, I guess because you either don't like it, it's too big, it wasn't chewed. I'm not sure what the point is here. Take it, turn around. The advice here is epic, and everyone needs to hear this. Turn around and just throw it back there, especially if you're at dinner at a restaurant. Make sure you do that. Fart or don't fart, retain wind, meaning do not fart, by compressing your belly. Do not be afraid of vomiting if you must, for it is not vomiting, but holding the vomit in your throat that is foul. See, you could look at it 2 ways there, and you can see the point of Erasmus of Rotterdam, right? Right? Turn away when spitting, lest your saliva fall on someone. If anything disgusting falls on the ground, it should be trodden upon, lest it nauseate someone. I'm just going to move on from that one. Some people put their hands in the dishes the moment they have sat down. Wolves do that. Okay, so that's talking about having manners at the dinner table. Okay. To lick greasy fingers or to wipe them on your coat is impolite. It is better to use a tablecloth. Wow, this guy has got some insight. This is some serious insight. I hope whoever's watching this, there's about 5 people watching right now. I'm glad you heard these things. No one else knows this shit. This is great. All right. Do not move back and forth on your chair. Whoever does that gives the impression of constantly breaking or trying to break wind. Meaning fart. There's a lot of farting in the 1500s, 1400s. Farts were a big deal. Farts were just a very big deal. Botched history, which is like the one that I said where I read about Obama, in the Intercontinental Railroad. This is actress Joan Collins discussing the AIDS epidemic. Now every commercial you see, even on children's channels, are for HIV medications. Yay! Like, hey, I have HIV and I get my medication down the block from Fart Man because Fart Man farts it out his butt right into my mouth. And that's how I take my medication at 6 o'clock for HIV. Okay. And farts, of course, have been a big deal for many years. Okay. It's like the Roman Empire. Wasn't everybody running around covered with syphilis? And then it was destroyed by the volcano? Joan Collins said that. So she's like, all right, with all these people with AIDS, why don't we go put them near a volcano? That's basically what she said. She said it's like the Roman Empire, the AIDS epidemic. Wasn't everybody running around covered with syphilis? Isn't everybody running around covered with HIV right now? And then it was destroyed by the volcano. So go to Washington, go to Hawaii, go to New Zealand, and sit by the volcano and wait. The Tapeworm Trap. I read that one yesterday, I think. I like the Tapeworm Trap. Tapeworm Trap's a pretty good story. Einstein's Eyes. I know I've read Einstein's Eyes before, but there are a couple of new viewers on here. I'm gonna read it because I got a couple of new people here on from Rumble. Welcome, people on Rumble. Let me ask you, did you know that Albert Einstein's eyes are in New Jersey right now in the safe deposit box in a bank? That's Albert Einstein lived in New Jersey most of his life and left his eyeballs to someone who is a nut job, and that nut job goes to the bank. He has it in the safe deposit box. He goes to the bank. And I worked in a bank before, so this is what happens. Sometimes you'll get a teller or lower management will have a key for the safe deposit box, and then if you have your own box, you have your own key. So this guy goes there, someone goes in with him. They step into the corner so the person can always have privacy with whatever they have in their box. And this guy's got Albert Einstein's eyes, and from what it says is the guy stares into them. It says he stares. When you look into his eyes, you're looking into the beauties and mysteries of the world. They are clear as crystal. They seem to have such depth. So imagine you're working in a bank, and you don't even know, and you have a client. He's a well-known guy. You like him, and you bring him in. I had a guy. I'm not gonna say his name, but he had a great name, just a good solid name. I would love to say it right now, but I can't. And he had a safe deposit box, and he would come once a week. So imagine the guys come once a week. Everyone knows. I didn't know what was in his box. Imagine he was looking at Einstein's eyes or Shakespeare's balls or something. Miracle Mike the Headless Chicken, The Wrath of Dolly, Blaganism. All right. I'll read that. In 1934, the Soviet Union, communists, scored a propaganda coup when it rolled out the Maxim Gorky, then the world's largest airplane. Larger than a Boeing 747, the Maxim Gorky had a movie theater, newspaper office, darkroom, laundry, pharmacy, and cafe. This is 1934, and an airplane, by the way. On some flights, the Maxim Gorky was so you think, right? I'm assuming it doesn't exist because they said propaganda, and it is the Soviet Union. But then again, the Soviet Union made a lot of good stuff. On some flights, the Maxim Gorky was accompanied by a single-engine plane so that onlookers could see just how big the Maxim Gorky really was. On May 18, 1935, Ivan Blagin was piloting the smaller craft. He was supposed to fly in tandem with the large plane, but he decided to perform aerobatic stunts to impress the crowd below. Not a great idea. When Comrade, and it says Comrade here, Blagin tried to loop his plane around the Maxim Gorky, he miscalculated and slammed into one of its wings, causing both planes to break apart. Blagin died in the crash, as did all 43 people aboard the Maxim Gorky. Oh, so it was a real plane. Okay. Soviet officials were so furious with Blagin that they coined a new word, Blaganism, which means selfish exhibitionism and lack of proper socialist discipline. Blaganism. That's a word I gotta remember. Blaganism. Wow, that story really fucking tanked on Rumble. I fucking went from 9 to 2 on that one. You know, one story will keep a bunch of people, and the next story, everyone runs away because they don't like it. And back to the, what is it? The original 2. Are you guys still there? The comments are gone. I don't know how the comments work here. I hit press live chat. How do I go back? I don't know. But anyway. More words of the gods. Outdated concepts. The king's touch. Alright. A sort of royalist equivalent of faith healing. This was the belief that the touch of a king or queen who ruled by divine right could actually cure diseases. The theory dates back to the 1200s in Europe and persisted for more than 600 years. The royal touch was thought to be especially effective in curing scrofula, which sounds like, you know, like a Muppet baby or something, someone from Sesame Street. Hey, let's go see scrofula. A form of tuberculosis that causes swelling of the lymph nodes in the neck. Scrofula sores can disappear without treatment, which likely explains why the king's touch was thought to be so effective with this particular ailment. It's almost like one of those faith healers. That's what it said in the beginning, but you know, he was a royalist. 10 plagues of Egypt. If you want to know what the 10 plagues of Egypt are, you're going to find out right now. Blood. The waters of the Nile ran red. It's a dark stream. Frogs. Beautiful. Lice. Flies. Diseased livestock. Can you believe it? The diseased livestock, they did it. Boils. Just boils on your body, just coming out of nowhere. Hail mixed with fire. So you got fireballs of hail. Beat that. Locusts. Of course, you know about that. Darkness. And the death of the firstborns. But the funniest one on there... Ooh! This is the dark stream. And the funniest one on there was darkness.